from Lift&Co with Calvin and with Pat. These are not LPs, but their stories are just as entertaining. And I really want to get them on here because we have two people who are, one who's been so driven. I've invested with Patrick for years now, so driven in the industry. And with Calvin, you've got an interesting story about growing. So you get some education from him on your Tilo organic soil. Because I just said that, why don't we start with yourself?
For sure.
I'd love to hear, or our audience would love to hear a little bit more about your product because it's very interesting. A lot of people are doing synthetics or they're doing hydroponics, they're doing whatever it be, but they're not necessarily doing a really high-grade organic soil. And from yours, it's been really interesting. I've loved learning about it. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, for sure. So my soil is going to be all organic. The biggest thing is it's plug and play. We don't want the grower or the average person or beginner to come into growing and have a bad experience. The best thing to do is to have a great experience that's going to be encouraging and also rewarding. So the biggest thing is to use very quality amendments.
Yep.
With not as much of them, so low quantities. And what we're trying to do is just have all water. Yep. No additives, no nothing like that. So all you have to do is pretty much peel and yield. Yeah. That's the best way to. And for the average household, that's what we want, is to show you that you can produce a great, healthy product. Yeah. It doesn't require as much work as you think. But at the end of the day, it's very rewarding and it's going to save you money in the long run because it's for your health, and not only that, you'll be growing veggies and you'll hopefully venture into other things also. It's also going to make you more aware about what other things could be in your products.
Yeah, that's a huge thing that people aren't
right?
thinking about. They're not thinking about all the synthetics that go into these products.
For sure.
Going into your food, and at Lift Cannabis, what we're talking about, it's going to go into your cannabis.
That's correct, and there's no filter in the plant or the soil. So what's in there is going to go into your plant. Yeah. So if it's bad or toxic, you're not going to want that. You're going to ingest that, or as we learned, they have chemical reactions as they burn, or you're burning them through different processes.
Like microbuterol, which a lot of people know from, I think it was last year or the year before, having some issues with that, and this completely eliminates that because you're not using these different types of pesticides. No. And talking to you, instead of putting all these different nutrients, because it's a living organism, you're just putting water in, and the plant's doing the work itself. The soil is doing the work itself.
Correct. So the actual workers for you would be the microbes, the biology in the soil. They're breaking down the organic amendments that we put in there that are time-released based. Yeah. So that's how that works. So they're slowly releasing nutrients over the course of your grow, so through your veg and your flower, and they're activated by us putting them in through different time periods, so they will be broken down by those microbes and available to the plant at that time. Now, it makes it much easier for the plant to absorb organic substances, hands down. Yeah. Synthetics relatively don't recycle well. It takes a long time for something that's not used to eating that to digest that, and then for whatever secretes the nutrient, of course, isn't going to be in the same form. Yeah. Or readily available. So those all play effect on the final product, your health. If you're a GMO person, this is going to be something that you want to pay attention to. Again, we really want to have a very easy system. Growing can be very technical if you want it to be, but it can also be extremely easy also. And you can get the exact same yields as synthetics and the same look. Everything is always achievable. It's just about a little bit of balance of passion, love, and then obviously some knowledge. So hopefully the organic really promotes a healthier mindset about everybody, because it's not just food or what you ingest, right? It's overall. Yeah. It's overall.
Absolutely. And I loved hearing your story, and we hope to be able to get more of his story out to you in the next little while. Your company name, just for record.
My company name is Stepwell Soils, and we'll have information up and available in about 2 weeks' time. Awesome. Instagram, Facebook, and website available.
I'm looking forward to it. Now, when you talk about information and image and Facebook and all these different aspects of finding out more about a company, there's someone to my left who's doing that exact same thing. And as I said earlier, I know who is it. He's gone. Someone who has been, like I said earlier, that was a friend for a long time, went to school together. We started talking again over investments, but there's so much more than investments in this industry. And you've just started a company called FTMIG. Can you tell our viewers and the two of us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Cole's Notes, Ethical Image is a full-service content creation agency. We plan on serving the cannabis market exclusively because we see like a very niche play, and we're all passionate about cannabis. Not all of us are consumers, but we all, I would say we see the promise of the plant. Yep. Not only, there's recreational, there's medicinal, but even hemp and different textiles. We want to tell the whole story of the cannabinoid body. So we offer photography, videography, graphic design, web design, podcasting, and copywriting. And that's our full suite service solutions right now to help companies that are doing very high value work. I'm sure you're probably better suited to growing and creating the soil genetics and all that, rather than maybe maintaining your Pinterest and Instagram and Twitter, right? Yeah. So my value prop is helping you engage in your value prop. Yeah. Take the creative side out of the equation. We got you covered. Yep. And that's Ethical Image. Our mandate is to basically change the perception and stigma around cannabis through philanthropic action. So every job that we do, we plant 100 trees in sub-Saharan Africa. Nice. Thank you, yeah. We're a member of 1% for the Planet, and our barrier to entry for any client is a 2% allowance of the total job quote to go to a charity of their choice. Can I ask you a question? So if you were in a room with every charity in the world, and you had $10 in your hand, who would leave that room with that $10 if you had to give it to someone?
It would be the closest charity that's to us.
Geographically? So I would ask you to go find, geographically, the closest charity to you, and make sure that you're okay with pledging 2% of the entire job quote to that charity, to make sure that if Ethical Image is serving you, I want you to be serving the world.
That's a great...
And that's our mandate. That's our story, So... I won't take up too much time, but that's Ethical Image in a nutshell. Yeah.
No, absolutely, and I'd love to hear, like as I said, close friends. We actually went back from high school, and then we started coming back into cannabis, and that's what brought us back to talking and learning all the stuff that you're in.
It's a great thing.
It's been fantastic. This expo has been fantastic. I talk about our story, but everybody knows who we are and what we're doing. So I really wanted to make sure I got a conversation with the two of you in. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your rest of the expo. Absolutely, Calvin.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, gentlemen, and all the best in everything that you're doing over the next couple of years.
Great meeting you, pal. No, absolutely.